Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy. We're here with Ali from Survivor Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers.
Hi, Ali. Thanks for speaking with us today.
Of course. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Doing good.
Tell us how you were chosen to be on Survivor.
Okay, so my family has actually applied for Survivor hundreds of times, I believe. My uncle tried out twice, and he was an alternate one year. My sisters tried out twice, my mom. I have cousins, and so it's always been a part of our family. And so I think it was sometime around summer last year, I was in my house and heading out somewhere, and I was like, let me try and make a video real quick because I'm the only one who hasn't. And so I made a video, and the rest is history.
So you got in on your first one.
My first one.
Excellent.
So what did you do to prepare once you found out you were going to be on the show?
So my mother bought me a survival guide book. I'm not sure I read it too much. And she also got me some flint for Christmas, so that was a great Christmas present. And I actually tried to make fire in the backyard at first, and there was too much wind, so I thought for a beginner, let me go somewhere without wind. So I started a fire in my parents' kitchen, actually with some sticks in a bowl and with some cardboard. Yeah, so that was the first time I learned to use flint.
So how did you feel about being put on the Hustlers tribe, and did that have any impact on your game?
I was actually happy once I found out I was on the Hustlers tribe. I liked the concept. I thought that I fit the role well. But it was a little bit unfortunate in regards to our team as a whole. You could look at us and tell us that we were not the strongest group of people, and it definitely showed with our 2 losses back-to-back. But it was definitely a great tribe because we were fun. We had a lot of fun. We enjoyed each other greatly. I don't think it had really any effect on my game. I think that I went out there knowing I was going to play the game as myself, and I wasn't going to lie about who I was and try to pretend or put on a mask. And so I don't know if being a hustler really affected my game negatively or positively.
Give us your assessment of each of your tribe mates and how you think they were playing the game. Let's start with Chrissy.
Yeah, Chrissy, I think that Chrissy is very hardcore. She's the person out there that she's been trying to get on the show for 16 years, and I commend her for that, for never giving up. She definitely, I think she's playing an okay game. I think she's playing a very lucky game. I think for the most part, Chrissy is where she is today because of Ryan and because of the game that Ryan's been given and all the luck that Ryan's been given. I think that Chrissy's just receiving the end of that. I think that she did set herself well after her first tribal that they went to. We'll see if she can build those connections back when they hit the merge.
Did you have trouble connecting with her after the swap? Ryan had suggested that you guys weren't talking to each other.
No, so we actually talked right from the get-go. She came up to me and she said, I think you're great, and I think that I want to work with you. And I was thinking, okay, that's great. You know, I love when people come up to me. That's great. And when we started to talk, it seemed like she had her own plan, and her plan didn't really fall into my plan. And I was really trying to consider, I was trying to consider what she wanted to do. And I wanted to bounce ideas back and forth off of each other, but she seemed like she was set. That's what she wanted to do, and there was no other thing. And so Chrissy was playing Chrissy for her own game. She didn't care about anybody else's game. So from the get-go, that's when I kind of went up to Ryan and was like, I had known that, or I didn't really know, but we had guessed that we were going to be at this new swap for 3 tribals. And knowing that 3 was a majority, I knew that I only needed 3. I didn't need to go 2 hustlers against 2 heroes. It didn't seem smart to me. And so from then on, I kind of realized I didn't need Christy any longer in the game.
Okay, what can you tell us about JP?
JP, he's a really great guy. He's a very guy's guy. I think that he's a survivor, but not on Survivor, if that makes sense. He can go out there and survive anywhere. If he was put on Naked and Afraid, he would, survive all 3 weeks and be just fine. He can make a fire. He can build shelter. He can find food. But in regards to the social aspect of this game, he wasn't really there. I think that he didn't try when he came to Soko. He never talked to anyone about anything other than who we are as people, and I don't know if that was his gameplay to try to connect personally, but he never got to know us. He never asked, hey, Ali, what do you think in regards to this game? And I didn't approach him either just because I felt like he was already in Chrissy's pocket, so I didn't want to give him anything that he could go back and give to Chrissy.
Okay, what can you tell us about Ryan?
Ryan is, he's a very, very smart. And that's even, one of his lies coming out there was that he had never graduated college and he had gone to community college or something like that. But he's very, very smart. And I even started to read into him because even his vocabulary, I was like, I know that you're smarter than, saying you haven't completed college. But we had a great relationship. We were like brother and sister out there. We got along great. We ran ideas back and forth with each other. And I think that we had very similar games. We were just going to play up our social game as much as we could until, I guess, he didn't see me as a benefit to him any longer.
And can you give us any bonus insight into Devin?
Devin comes off not as smart as he really is. I think Devin's got a great strategy in this game. I actually felt really close with Devin at Yawa. He came to me even though I knew his relationship a little bit with Ryan. I didn't know it was as strong once the show came out. I knew his relationship a little bit, but he definitely came to me and, gave me good points. And I felt close with Devin. And I think that if Devin continues to play his relationships and play up, that he's not as smart as he actually is, he can go far.
Looking back, tell us how you would have reacted if Ryan had asked you to vote off Rourke.
I would have if Ryan came to me because he never brought up saying, we should stick with Chrissy and vote out Rourke. That was never once brought up by Ryan. But he did say, let's vote Chrissy, let's vote JP, which one do you think is best? And so if he did bring that up to me, I think that I would have, understood. And at that point, I would have said, I have no other option. Because even going into this game, I had always said, as long as it's not me. And so if he would have said, hey, Ali, I think that this is our best bet. I think we go with Chrissy. JP will be next if Rourke goes home. And I would have felt like, okay, Ryan, I know that I don't really have much control over this decision, and I'm going to have to trust you, and we're just going to have to go with your plan.
Was he right? Were you getting close with Rourke?
I was only getting close with Rourke because I thought that we needed her. Because I had no idea of this super idol, I was using Rourke to tell her to come with us because I didn't know if the heroes were going to try to get Rourke on their side. I didn't have any idea. So I thought that, I knew for a fact that we're going to have at least 3 tribals and we only need 3 people. And so having Rourke, we could have 2 people that were expendable. We had Chrissy and we had JP, and I was just thinking strictly on my short game. I just wanted to get to the merge, and taking Rourke with me, taking the swing vote with me, seemed like the best idea at the moment.
So how did you react when you saw that Ryan had given her the super idol?
You mean while watching back?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when I knew that was my whole game. My whole game was blown to pieces because Ryan had this super idol. And so Ryan's advantage was then my disadvantage. He could have definitely used the super idol information once he got on the same tribe with Chrissy, and he could have told me that, and he could have brought me in rather than keeping JP, which someone he was never really all that close with. So that's the only thing in regards to the super idol that I understand why Ryan didn't try to do, unless he thought that maybe me and him were playing too much of a similar game. I don't know why he would choose to trust JP over me.
And what was going to be your strategy after the merge?
After the merge, my plan was to get back with all of the hustlers. Me and Lauren had created a really good bond, and like I've already said, me and Devin were really close, and hoped to see if we could either be that swing vote. Because I don't think that the heroes would have hooked up with the healers, and I don't think the healers would have hooked up with the heroes. So we would have just kind of decided what was best for us and gone from there.
Explain what it was like to get all the pizza and the soda. Did it make anyone sick?
It was, for me, being in those last few days, I was very alone and I was very sad. And even going into the final days, I was very, on the outs. And so that moment was almost like a little mini party that we were able to have. And it was fun. And of course, throughout the whole time, I'm looking under pizza and in the spices and all that for an idol clue or something in that sort to save my behind. But yeah, it was fun, and I ended up eating a whole pizza because we had 10, so I had a whole one in one sitting, and it ran straight through me, and I had to run straight to the ocean.
Okay. Going into Tribal, did you believe Chrissy and Ryan were voting with you?
I hoped. I don't think I ever really trusted them that much to stick with me, but I definitely hoped that if there was anything that I said, that they could have taken it and ran with it, but I didn't feel too positive.
Was there anything else that was interesting discussed at Tribal that we didn't get to see?
It was a pretty big bash obsession on JP. So, I mean, you could even see Jeff even put it in his own words in regards to JP literally saying nothing in regards to one of his responses. But it was a pretty big bash session. I think they didn't show as much that I knew more and more as Tribal was going on, because Chrissy just kept taking JP's side over and over and over. And I knew, even though she spoke good things to me, that none of those things were true.
In some of your extra videos, you were talking about needing some alone time and how you were missing your family and all that. What was going on? Where was your mind in all this? Did you check out?
No, I don't think I checked out. I think I was just very much alone. I was hurt. I was sad. I was trying to kind of find myself again. I was trying to get my head back into the game, and I think maybe those videos were even from Easter, and so I had known that before I left, all my family was get together for Easter, and so I was just, really, I don't know, it's just, I think I was out there. I haven't seen the video yet, so I don't know exactly what it says or what I said, but yeah, I think I was probably just trying to take it all in and enjoy the moments, and maybe I knew deep down inside that it was going to be my last few days, and I was trying to take in the last moments.
After you were voted out, you said, good luck on beating him. Who were you referring to, JP or Ryan?
I really was referring to both of them. I wanted it to make people think, because I wanted it for Chrissy to make her think, was it the right decision to keep JP if JP did end up winning all the next challenges. And I wanted them to think, okay, you better, watch out for Ryan as well, because Ryan is playing all of you.
Did it make you feel any worse knowing that you were the last person voted out before the merge happened when you found out?
I don't think it made me feel any worse. I think I already felt worse when we lost the last community challenge. I think that I pretty much knew the merge was around the corner, whether it was the next day or the day after, but I knew there was only going to be one more vote out, and so I don't think it makes it worse, because what's meant to be will be. I mean, I loved the game that I played. I was happy I was able to be myself in all of it. I knew that going in, I was just happy to be able to be a part of the game.
What did you see on TV while you were watching that surprised you?
Well, obviously the Super Idol. That was a huge surprise. That was probably the biggest surprise, which is sad, because that was my ultimate downfall, I think. I think that if Ryan never had that Super Idol, he would have been begging me just as much to get close with Rogue, so Rogue came on our side. So that was probably the biggest surprise of the whole game. And
were you surprised last night when Ryan referred to himself as a weasel?
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting comment for him to say, oh, Ali wants to work, JP wants to work with me. But I was like, dude, Ryan, we have nobody else to choose from. There's 4 of us left. Like, who am I going to go to this rock and say, please go with me? No, so, to call himself a weasel, I think, Ryan's funny. He's definitely a character that can make fun of himself. So I definitely heard him talk a lot about himself out on the island, so it didn't really surprise me.
Was there anything you wish had been shown about you that didn't make it on air?
The only thing that they didn't really show was that a lot of the time I did pray for over our challenges, whether it was us at our camps, or us before challenges, or us after challenges. When we had the pizza, I prayed when we ate the pizza. So I didn't show any of that, which, it's completely fine, but it showed that, I was there for these people, because I know that sometimes it can be hard. And I know that sometimes, even though you're with people, you can find yourself alone. And that's where I find myself. So there were times where even that's probably where I was on the beach, praying by myself and just trying to understand that everything out here happens for a reason. These connections that I made, they were more than just a game. These people are more than just pawns. They're people, and you need to treat them like people and respect them and create connections with them. And even after all of it, I loved every single minute of it.
Did you have any injuries while you were out there, or health issues after you got back?
The first night, I believe, my hands were out, and we had red ants that came through our camp, and they bit up my hands entirely to where they were swollen. And so the next night I put socks over them, and that night was probably the first night where I started whimpering because I was in so much pain. And so that was one, but after a few days I kept wearing the socks and they went away. And then we had at our camp, we had this board that I guess we couldn't see that was under like all these fallen branches, and we would walk over there, and at times you're not wearing shoes or whatever. And all of us, I think every single person in our camp at Yawa had stepped on this board that had like 4 or 5 nails sticking out of it. Mm. And so the first few days I stepped on it, and my foot looked like it had got infected at one point. It was like pussy and stuff. But luckily it went away after a few days. It was very painful for a moment, but I was lucky so that's why everybody's like, why is Ali wearing shoes in the water? It's because I was so scared to step on everything and get my thing infected again.
What's it been like watching with all your family and friends that wanted to be on the show themselves?
It's been so much fun. Everyone's called me even after last night and said, we are so very proud of you. You know, you represented yourself well and your family well, and it was fun to watch. I didn't really watch with too many big crowds, though, because Survivor was a very special moment for me, and a lot of my family doesn't live that close. And so watching with just my close loved ones was all I wanted to do. I didn't want to be in a bar or with a viewing party. I just wanted to be with us. And it was fun. It was something that not only the experience I'll never forget, but even just watching back, I'll never forget.
What's next for you?
What's next for me? Hopefully, I'll be back on Survivor. That's my goal. But, I mean, if not, I'm out here just working in LA, and we'll see whatever comes from it. But it's a great experience, and I loved every minute and would love to play again.
Well, I wanted you to know we thought you were awesome in challenges, and Stacy had chosen you to win the entire show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. A lot of people say that, and I'm like, hopefully I can come back and make everybody else happy again.
Yep, I'll be cheering for that too.
Ali, thank you so much for sharing with us today, and good luck to you.
Of course.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.